Okay, so begin the stream, break down some perspective. So this one interesting, abstract, surreal landscape. This kind of blame and how's this guy? Doctor Strange kind of composition. Yeah. So yeah, again, like I always say, it's about general, like abstract arrangement and perspective grid. So let's see, here is this kind of shape, and it's not much about perspective, it's just general design here. It's this like character A has this kind of conus like this. So and for this movement, yeah, here we need vanishing point because it's definitely kind of a rule for these lines. So I'm looking basically like I'm looking for consistencies. So like where is the rule? So if I see this rule for some lines convergent to point, so okay, then I find this point. So sometimes it's perspective grid, sometimes it's just structure for composition. It's not about perspective. Sometimes it's about like design. So you need to analyze, look for this. So here we have this vanishing point. So it's like at least one vanishing point perspective, and it's not curvilinear. And it's hard to say, is this like 3 vanishing point or what? Is too much abstraction here.
I found this on the web.
What? I can see. So now I will like snap to this grid. So this is now like a grid here for these lines. It's going to vanishing point. For other, it's like this like arrangement for this like it's like a front plan here. Demonstrate it. So it's like a middle plan, but we don't have first plan in this picture. Yeah, so this thing here is like all, it's like this frame, it's like this middle plane, this all this stuff here. It's also work like a frame for background for far plane. So somewhere it's like this carcass, little transparent. And then I look like what kind of main groups on this further planes. Or let's say, okay, let's call this first plane, then will be middle plane, and then will be far plane. So it's like, let's show here. So this is like front plane here. And it's also like shown with difference in value, like close plane is darkest. So it's have like this like very dark values. Like we can say like in air perspective, right? So in air perspective, closer to us, bigger contrast between light and shadow. So like light area and shadow area will be more contrast. So shadow will be darker and will be more like variety within light area. It might be very bright, like here we have this neon lights, all the stuff. So in general, like darkest shadows in this close plane here. And we can see how value of shadows change when it go further. So on the middle plane, shadows will be like a gray, and on the far plane, in the far plane, it's like almost no difference between light and shadow. In the far plane, it's just like overall shading kind of to show some elements, you know. So you can see like here's this dude. He is from first plane, so this like super dark tone, like almost black. And then this one, it's far plane, so it's already like cannot say where is light, where is shadow. It's kind of, it's more about um, general kind of texture, some kind of pattern. So if this is like middle plane, you see like compare this shadow here and this shadow here. So again, here's first plane shadow and this far plane shadow. They're both shadows, but this like make it brighter, we put it further. And you see again like okay, yeah, like here, like this light in the window, for example, and here like light in the window and this shadow, it's like huge contrast here. And here like here is almost no contrast, like very slight. If you squint, like you cannot see difference if you squint. But let's say here have some light kind of, you know. So it's like general rule. Okay, here, yeah, here we can see light and dark, and there much less difference between them. So this first plan, and then I look what is the pattern on a second plan, on a middle plan, and here in the middle plan, it's like this. It's same vanishing point, but like whole thing is a little rotated, so it's following a little different rules here. So, and this kind of frame inside frame. So this is second frame. Perspective. I better take as recolor. Okay, too late. So, and then, like, so this first plane was frame, then middle plane, it's a frame for next layer, and this third layer, and this some noise on the far plane, kind of. So this kind of construction here, like from perspective, basically it's only one vanishing point. All other stuff is just kind of composition structure lines. So let's see. So here now I put this second layer. And again, you see, when we use this approach, analysis and synthesis, this is how we can learn, and this when it makes sense to study other artist works, because you see how they made, kind of what is kind of building blocks of their work. And so it's more important than just try to recreate a look of this work. It's more important is to to get some ideas, get some techniques from this work. So here is some kind of study of application of this kind of layer principle. So you can see how he play with layers and to build this kind of environment, surreal composition. So then just some more elements to have this. So here some buildings are like upside down. Stuff. Cables. Calligraphy here. Like, also benefit of such approach, it's like you can draw anything with this, no matter kind of what level of complexity in subject. Because with this approach you draw what you define, kind of. So you break down it to some elements and then you draw these elements, you show what you find, kind of, you know. So I find this, I got that, now I can show it. So like line quality and like control and like let's say like refinement of your skill, all this stuff is only one element of quality in a work. Yeah, you can see difference, right, when you see some artist who draw like 100,000 hour, you know, like houses, like amazing line quality, like beautiful, like it's amazing to watch this level. But at the same time you can see some artists who also draw a lot of time, and you cannot say they have a very good line quality, or it doesn't look like technically striking. And often like good work doesn't bother you, like when you see some kind of mediocre level of technique, you know, because it's not only about technique. You give it more quality, of course, is better for you, I believe, better for artists to be more to be able more control. But it's more about so like organization. So it's like how you organize, it's like how you turn chaos in order. So quality of like technique is only one form of organization, of this refinement. Other form is composition and like how you arrange stuff according to some message, to some this kind of rhythms and stuff. Same like sometimes singer, he might have not the best voice in the world, but he undeniably like iconic singer, have a lot of quality in his work, like Louis Armstrong, for example. Like he literally doesn't have voice. But you can a lot of time to spend to build kind of your technique, just like how you make lines, all the stuff, drawing still life. But if you never train how to play with composition, how composition works, you know, how to arrange consciously composition, not just like superficially follow some weird rules, but just like compose yourself, just compose with some meaning, with some reason in your mind. So like what are you doing? Like every line should be for a reason. It sounds like exaggeration, but it's not. It's exactly what you should do. You should work on a level when every line, every spot, every mark you make on a paper, it's for a reason. And the way this mark looks, it's also for a reason. Like why it's wobble, why it's straight, it's a curve or angular. All this should be for purpose, like why you prefer this way or other way. And you need some time to have like your own understanding of it. You cannot only listen and get it. This thing come from practice. So if like this like abstract visual form is about every mark have a reason, if we talk about narrative, then it's like every object, every element have a reason. So if you show some person, okay, it's like have some meaning, you know. So it's kind of narrative aspect of it. And what you train there, you will be good at. If you train like how to make it meaningful, you think about what you draw, what you show, like why you show this object, why you show another object, you will be better at it. If you think about quality of marks and reason of abstract form, then you will be better in this aspect. Recently I understand them, just recently, because like I really like want to be better like in a visual narration. So you know, I like when I watch this works and like always feels like everything meaning something. So I already enjoy a lot making like, no, I have a lot control over my marks. So when I make my own pictures, like I really tend to make everything for a purpose. It's no single line without reason. Everything should be for a reason. But with a narrative, with a meaning, like why, like why, for example, this character dress this way, why he like, what kind of gesture she or he should make, like every story-wise kind of aspect also should be for a reason. Like why this age, why this look, why this clothes, why this daytime, or why this area, everything. So of course. So I've been thinking about all this stuff, and recently I find that if I want to be good at this, I need to learn uh, better this like art history and also like symbology. It should be obvious, but I was never actually fan of symbology since kind of dubious, but recently I realized it's important for us as artists is to learn all this conventional symbology. So it's like Greek gods and more like Asian gods, then all this numerology, whatever, you know, whatever just when people put like historically, there is a lot of symbols, metaphors. There's like it's a classic. So, and we can learn from other artists how they utilize these ideas of show some stuff in the form of image. So like when it's like some character means something, some bird means something, or whatever. So I start to study it, and I realize it's really helped to develop this kind of way of thinking. When you first you see how other artists do it, and then you start to make it in your head by yourself. You just start to put some um, layers of meaning behind image. So it's like, what if this thing is represents some kind of virtue, simultaneously it represents some kind of mythology, then it represents some um, group of people with certain beliefs, then it represents some uh, let's say like a fable, and all together in just one image, you know. This kind of very cool thing actually. I just never look this way before. And this give you this kind of skill to build layers of meaning visually. So first we need to study this kind of history, look how other people apply it, how they treat it, you know, all the stuff like secret societies, conspirology, whatever. I mean, we can see all the stuff. People put meaning in the things, like say, oh, this thing looks, it represents something. Like, oh, there is some, how to say, yeah, it's like some conspiracy behind this symbol, or it's like some political view or some philosophical idea. You know, this is very cool actually. And what is important here is not like you don't want to be one of them. You not study this because you take it seriously in any way. You might if you want, but for us as artists, important is just building principle, mechanic of this visual symbols. It's like to see how people look at world through this, how they reading these symbols, and is how to say navigate, you know, in the narrative. So we can see like who represents what by symbols they use. So same with the words, like we can say, okay, this person definitely sound like he not read much, you know. Or this person, it's like involved in some subculture, and he use this phrases and memes from this culture, from this subculture. So we study this and we learn how it works. And then if you make like what happened with Akira, for example, in Akira we can see this. We can see how oh, mix with names. Katsuhiro Otomo, uh, how he built symbology, and this kind of another layer in his work. It's symbolical imagery. You see how he made the symbols like of this uh, like universe power and all this like altered state of mind, or this like spiritual energy reality, where it was like interdimensional space in Akira. He doesn't like make it some. He doesn't use some typical fashion images from surroundings. You know, like now we see everybody can just lazy use popular symbols, right? He make his own symbols, and because he has this because he has this skill, understanding of how symbology works. And again, in his Akira story, we have symbols, and of course we have a conspiracy, we have cult, like a religious cult, we have some kind of hidden knowledge, because symbols, they're like about hidden message, hidden knowledge. So it's like only for it's only for certain circle of people. It's not for everyone. That's why we need to use it. It's called like open and close. Uh, open and close. Okay, open close knowledge. Let's say. So one, it's for everyone. Another one is only for members or for higher levels of this kind of members in the community. So, and we see it everywhere actually. So it's not only some kind of sects. Sometimes it's just how our kind of common brain works. It's like how we, because we're social creatures, and this thing is part of our nature. So we we can see, um, is this person in how deep in the context he is, like he understands this like a complex meme with a long history, or he just newbie here and he don't know this like old school memes, you know. So we can kind of, with this way we can define who is who, him. It's like on what level we can trust, kind of. This kind of stuff. I forget to tilt it. Oh, anyway, it's kind of tilted. Should be tilted. Yeah. Again, why I tell this is like in an abstract aspect, in an abstract composition, when we draw something, like every time you make decision why you choose this line or that tone, it's you make a decision based on effect, kind of what effect it will make on a viewer. It's make it like scarier or brighter. It's give like more energy or will more slow down. You choose effect you want to impose on a viewer, and this effect is quality of abstraction. And with a message, it's like your control over information, like what association you want bring and give to viewer, like what you want him to uh, think about when he look at your work. This will like remind him something. It will bring him certain ideas come to his mind, you know. And also knowing symbols and kind of visual history here helps to understand this, how to manipulate context, how to manipulate associations. Oh, and work with meaning. Um, yeah, like how works, for example, how works layers of meaning, how to make layers of meaning. Uh, it's called intertextuality. So intertextuality, intertext, it's when, no, it's like now it's popular, it's called like Easter eggs. So it's like when we um, make a link to some narrative. So you make your own narrative, it's your own characters, your own story, but in same time they also represent some story from other narrative. And then you can also put this like simultaneously different narrative together. So it's like he is an archetype from one story, but also he wear some elements on him, like clothes, or he speak in a way which make him represent some character from totally different story. And then there is story arc from absolutely other third story. And then when it's combined with your own story, it's like all this 5 war narrative, they will make this kind of absolutely new thing with many layers, and people start to kind of play with it. They start to trying to dig in meanings there. It's like what is meaning behind this stuff? So the way people reach this effect is basically by combining different narrative together with these hyperlinks. So Easter egg is kind of most superficial form of it. You can make it more subtle, kind of like homage, you know, yeah. If you look this a lot of popular show, they filled with homages, and it's interesting. Like you don't need to recognize. You don't need to recognize it. It's still it will works because you yourself, you put this whole bunch of narratives behind thing you make. Even if people doesn't know this narrative, somehow it will be there. It's like it will be like quality, density of this will be inside form. In this way, again, like because somehow it's universal, and this why a different culture, for example, like in one culture story filled with intertext within their own culture narrative, you have no idea what is about, but you see something there, some kind of their mythology or history, and you just start to put your own ideas over it. So there is, if you don't know actual story, you can see structure of the story, and you start to trying to close gaps, and you create these meanings. You start to like building this kind of theories around this narrative. Especially I think like it's happened with Akira actually, uh like I think Atoma, he put a lot of stuff there. It's read by Japanese people, especially like his generation will read it a totally different way, uh, totally different from how foreigners read it. A lot of kind of this links to their history and culture. But still, for us, it works. We put some our own concepts. kind of feel for us like very unique